foster an environment where people can get into project management and can be successful at it. And my reason for doing it, I tell my people all the time, is because I'm selfish, right? I need you to be in project management because I'm tired of being by myself. And I need you to be great at it so that you can get these leadership positions and you can, become the director of a PMO or become the vice president of a project management organization. And when you have contracts or when you need to fill roles, then you can just hire me, and we can start having this circle of recommendations and references and we can, make everybody win. Like everybody who's in the group can win. But we can only do that if you join the group, you dedicate yourself to like furthering yourself, and you get involved. Like I said, you don't need a degree to get in project management. You don't need a certification to get in project management. It helps. It greatly, greatly helps, but you don't need it. And I feel like if we fill that gap and we, work together to hone into our skills, not just project management, but in STEM in general, it's great we got into it, but now we need to be in the positions where we can make decisions and we can influence how, STEM operates or even how corporate America operates, take it to a whole nother level.
Yo, plug me in.
Welcome to the STEM Plug Podcast, Ep.8. We've come a long way, right? So today, I'm so excited today, right? We're really going to dive into the area of project management, particularly IT within project management, right? There's a lot of different areas that you can be into project management, but with the STEM Plug Podcast, we want to dive into IT. So, I couldn't think of another better guest to have than one of my good friends, Candace. And Candace is just such a dope individual. Like, she's just dope. And the crazy thing is, she happens to be a project manager.
Just happen to be a project manager.
So, really just wanted to plug in with Candace. So, Candace, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm excited.
Okay.
And I'm very, very happy for you and what you're doing with the STEM Plug podcast. I've seen a couple episodes, listened to a couple episodes. I think it's really great work what you're doing. And I'm excited that you are having me a part of it. So I'm feeling good.
I'm excited that you really wanted to plug in and just share your knowledge of the project management field. I really learned a lot from you about really everything as a project, right? Just kind of introducing Candace, Candace has a lot of amazing experience within the project management field, right? She has over 10 years of experience, working with really top-level companies. I'm talking top-level companies, like even companies that support Coachella, right?
Yeah.
Candace is working with them.
Yep.
She's doing all of that. So really, let's really plug in, right? How did you really get into project management? How did that start?
I love answering this question. So my parents wanted me to go down an engineering STEM path. They knew it made a lot of money. I knew it made a lot of money too. So that was always kind of the pathway I was on, even in high school. However, I was driving home one day. I used to play basketball. I was driving home one day with the parent of one of my teammates. And we're talking, it's our senior year. She's asking this question like, oh, what are you going to do? And I was like, I'm going to try to be an industrial engineer. I just know, I'm not really sure. I just know my goal is I want to make $100,000 a year before I'm 30. And she said, oh, well, I just read this this magazine article about the PMP. And she said, it's a certification, a project management professional certification. And if you get that, they were talking in the article that you're guaranteed $100,000. And at that moment, I was like, oh, there's my career path. I'm good. I told you my goal was I need $100,000 salary before I'm 30. So, and that is how I started down my path. So.
Wow. So that's amazing. So what did you study in school again? What did you study?
So these are fun questions. I'm a dope individual who just happens to be a project manager, okay? Like I said, my pathway was STEM and mathematics, engineering. So got a scholarship at St. Augustine's University, where we both graduated
shout out to
from.
St. Aug. Okay.
St. Aug. So I was there. I was in the engineering mathematics program. Still had project management on my mind, but at that point in time, it wasn't a popular field. It's a trending field right now. But at that time, they didn't have like degree programs and things like that. So I knew that I wanted to get in IT, but I was going to do project management some kind of way. So come to find out, I'm at my alma mater, and without getting into all the details, didn't really agree with our STEM program, our STEM departments at that alma mater. So I ended up spinning off creating my own degree at St. Aug. Bet you didn't know that.
I did. Hey, you plugging in.
I created my own degree. It's a liberal studies degree, but it's pretty much a create your own degree, design your own degree program. And my program was mathematics and organizational management. So I took mathematics and STEM classes as well as management and leadership classes at St. Aug, and I brought that together and created my degree. So that was my background.
Wow, that's an amazing story. See, here on the STEM Plug podcast, like I said, we love, just plugging in dope individuals like yourself that really, you had certain experiences and you took those skills and then you kind of seen what can make you successful and you catered those skills, right? Like I studied biology in undergrad, but now I'm an engineer. So I took the skills that I had and I really, kind of catered those skills, right?
Yep.
So I guess going into project management, right? There's a lot of different areas within project management. What particularly made you want to go into IT within project management? Where did that come about?
I'm going to be transparent with you, Rich. Like we were talking before the podcast, I want this to be authentic. I'm going to be authentically me. I already told you what my motivation was to get into the field.
Okay.
I wanted to make $100,000 a year before I was 30. So I am extremely motivated by money. Can be a good or a bad thing, but that was the big thing for me. And I found that, IT pays a whole lot. And project management, you kind of touched on it, it's something that you do every day. Everybody is a project manager. You just probably never realized it. It's all about how you spin it. I always tell people, compare it to planning a party. Like a party coordinator, it's not necessarily their party, but they're responsible for organizing and putting everything together. That's what a project management does. You're a glorified organizer. But I got into IT because it paid a lot of money. And the project management, like I said, is something that I'm already doing. It's something that everyone can do. Everyone has this skill set. You just need to hone it, and you can turn it into a whole career field.
Okay. That's dope. So, with project management, I always talk a lot about, here on the STEM Plug podcast about collaboration, right, and communication. So how do you really, ensure effective communication with your team, working through collaboration? I know you work with cross-functional teams within IT, so how do you kind of ensure that? What's your, go-to for that?
That's a great question. So project management is probably 90% communication. Because a lot of times in project management, you have a goal that you're trying to meet, but it's not you doing the work. Everybody else that you're working with is doing the work. You're just trying to make sure they get it done. And the way you do that is by having excellent communication skills. And so I'm dealing with people who are very technical, very IT focused, maybe coders, developers, server engineers, network engineers. I'm also dealing with, executives who are, also kind of STEM focused, but they're worried about the money. They're worried about the bigger picture. So I have to figure out ways to reach everyone to make sure we're going to a common goal. And the way I do that is just build relationships with people. You got to tune into, it's a radio station that everyone likes to promote, is WWIFM, What's in it for me? So you tune into that, you meet with your team members, you figure out what motivates them. Is it, praise? Is it recognition? Is it they're passionate about their work that they're doing? Is it, they're trying to meet So from an executive level, they're trying to meet their KPIs. You know, what motivates them and how can you speak to them in the types of things you're communicating to them for. So it's like, if I need you to do something, I need you to do this because you can get recognized for XYZ, or I need you to do this because it'll meet XYZ KPI. So tuning into that WIFM radio station is key.
Okay, that's dope. We having an authentic conversation here, right?
Yes.
So you really just made me think about, you know, everything in life is growth, right? You've been a project manager now for 10 years. You have a lot of experience.
Yes.
So I know everything that you kind of just explained. It took you probably some years to get there, right?
It did.
So kind of let's dive into, like, you know, things that might have happened to you in the workplace, or different maybe conflicts that you maybe had to resolve in the past that you look like, wow, I really growed from this area. Have you had any instincts like that?
Oh, yeah, all the time. All the time.
And you don't have to say no names or anything. But
Yeah, I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try not to because I'm comfortable. You know, try not to put everybody on blast. This is going viral. Like, oh, Candace was talking about me on the podcast. I'm about to get fired. No, I'm going to try not to. But, you know, there's challenges all the time, right? This is an authentic conversation.
For sure.
I was in a field that was not as popular as it is today. It was heavily male-dominated, white male-dominated, and I am a young Black female trying to break into this field of project management, much less IT. And so there was a lot of challenges. There were a lot of times, especially, I would say I've been discriminated against the most because of my age, which is funny because that's something that's not talked about a whole lot. But when I was getting started, you know, I feel like I'm pretty decent as what I do, and I'm a quick learner. And so I was trying to get jobs, and even on the job, you know, do certain things, but I wasn't allowed certain opportunities because people felt I was too young, or they felt intimidated because they were much older than me, and I'm doing the same work as them. Those are the challenges, but I told you I'd be going. You asked me how did I overcome them.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to just build confidence, build tough skin. And like I told you, I'm a dope individual who happens to be a project manager. So there's other things I do outside of project management. And one thing that I do that has helped me a lot in my career was refereeing basketball. So I'm a basketball referee. And in that, you're put on the stage. You are the ultimate decision maker. Everybody in that gym is going to have an opinion about every single call that you make. Some are going to like it, some are not. People are going to yell. Coaches are going to yell. And you have to learn how to keep your composure and still maintain confidence. Even if I called the wrong call, even the ball is off on out of bounds on somebody else, and I called it blue and it's supposed to be white, confidently, blue. It's going to be blue ball. And so, you know, it taught me you got to stand strong. You got to build confidence even if you're not sure of yourself. And that translated to the workplace. And when I was feeling like I was discriminated against because I was being young, you know, I just held my confidence and stood strong and stuck with project management. I didn't give up. I didn't feel discouraged. You know, I just kept persevering, and that helped me grow through my career.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. I love that you just shared that about you being a basketball coach, and it really just kind of helped you in your career. Like, I know I can talk about me, particularly, like, you know, I've been a mentor with a first robotics team, the Cyber Bears in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Woo, Cyber Bears.
But that's really helped me a lot, right? Being a mentor and being able to, you know, you think you might have skills in something, but then once you teaching kids and different stuff, you're like, oh, dang, do I really know this and stuff like that?
Yes.
So being able to take that experience and turn that into, you know, into your career skills, that's dope. That's dope.
And I'm gonna go off topic for a little bit, but I think that's an important thing to hone in on. People get so caught up in career, right? And I know I was a victim of that early on. I told you, my whole thing was, PMP, I won $100,000 before 30.
Getting that bag.
And I was so driven and focused on, like, okay, I need a career, I need to do internships, which was all great. But I kind of lost sight of, okay, who am I? Who is Candace? And that's why in my tagline, I lead with, I'm a dope individual first. I'm an individual first. My career does not define me. You know, everything about me defines me. The career is just part of it. The career is just how I'm getting to the guap. I mean, I can love it. I can be passionate about it. I love project management. I'm very passionate about it. I enjoy what I do, but that's not who I am.
Yeah.
It's a difference.
Nah, that's dope. So I guess that leads me to another question. Like you said, you are a dope individual that just happens to do project management, right? Mm-hmm. So what would you say are some of the common, misconceptions about project management? Like you said, it's kind of becoming so popular now.
Yes.
Everybody wants to get into project management. Oh, I could work from home and do project management.
Right.
What are the misconceptions that, plug us in on that?
Yeah, I'm going to try to take this a couple of different ways. You got to keep me on topic. All right. So the first misconception is you do not need a degree to do project management. Unlike some other kind of career fields, you do not have to have a degree to do project management. You may need a degree to work for a certain company, but to actually be a project manager, you don't need one. That's number one. Number two, you don't need a certification to do project management. A lot of people think that they need to go out and get these certifications, the project management professional certification or the CAPM, the certified associate project manager certification. You don't need those. They help you. They help you get noticed by recruiters and your resumes and everything, but you can be a project manager without it. Third misconception, like you said, everybody thinks that you're just going to come in and work remote from home and just hit the mouse jiggler every once in a while. Like, no. I make my work look easy, but I do work. Like, it is a lot of work to coordinate people. You are a person who coordinates and organizes adults. Imagine how that is with kids. For people who have children, you got, events that you're planning. You got a soccer game, and you're the soccer mom of the team, and you got to organize everybody, make sure everyone gets on time, get the snacks and all that kind of stuff. That type of work that you're doing is project management. That game is a project. And that type of coordination is the same type of coordination you have on the job. So it's not just, I'm going to put up my computer and just mouse jiggler and join a couple meetings. Like, no, you still especially to be good at it, to be recognized and, considered a senior project manager, you have to do the work. Yeah. So those are, I think, some of the bigger misconceptions.
Yeah, and it sounds like you have that tough skin as well as, I guess you have to put your foot down, right? From time to time, like you gotta let people know, like, look, you gotta get this project done, right?
Yeah.
How do you really measure project success to make sure that, your projects kind of align with the goals of the particular business you might be supporting?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are kind of defined metrics, right? When you start a project, you go through the process to define that success criteria at the very start. Well, you should. Not all projects do, but best practice is to have success criteria. So is it, we're completing on time, on budget, we're deploying however many workstations or however many servers, everything is functioning as expected. It passed all of the functional tests, the user acceptance tests. You set your criteria in the beginning for the business or for those project specifications. Outside of that, the way I feel, when I feel that my project has been successful is when everyone has a clear understanding of what we did. Like, I feel like a lot of times in the workplace, we do all these different things, all these different tasks, and nobody ever knows why. Like, we're just, going throughout our day, and before we know it, it's like, 2 months, a year later, and we've been working on this project, and I don't even know how it even relates to the company anymore. I'm just attending my status meetings. I'm just doing my reports. Like, I'm doing my timesheet. At the end of the project, my really successful projects, it's something that made an impact on the company, even if it was minor, but everyone understood what we did, what goal we achieved. And there was just, everyone had these endorphins that the project was done. Yeah. So that to me is a successful project.
Okay, that's dope. Yeah. You brought up a good point. Myself, I'm always just plug in about like how I'm always just looking to educate myself in certain areas, just, coning in on my skills and stuff. So how do you really stay updated with the latest developments and like best practice in IT project management? Do you have a specific go-to? How do you stay up to date? Because I know it's a lot of emerging trends and different things that's happening. So how do you stay up to date?
When you are a certified project manager, I said you don't have to be a certified project manager to do it. Okay. But if you get your certification, you get your project management professional certification, you do have to do continuing education credits called PDUs to make sure you maintain your certification. So that is supposed to promote you getting that continuing education, being able to keep learning and growing. But I find that it's not a lot of tangible places where you can get like continuing education. I don't know if I can explain in that right. Like it'll teach you, you can do the PDUs for the concepts of project management, but how do I communicate better with my team? How do I track tasks better? I haven't seen that, and maybe somebody out there has, and you have it, you know, feel free to send it to me. You can follow me at Candace Margot on all social media platforms, CandaceMargaux. It's a French spelling. If you have some platforms and some go-tos, please send them to me. But I haven't really seen that. So what I do in the meantime is, you know, just lean on other project managers. I lean on people that I've worked with that I've seen do things very well, people that have been recognized in my organizations or past organizations. I do have a collection or cohort of coworkers that I don't know if I consider them mentors, but, you know, that have been doing very well in the field as well. And I'll ask them questions, you know, maybe adopt some of their practices that they're doing. So it's kind of like a group learning exercise right now. Yeah. So, yeah.
Nah, that's dope. That kind of like, I'm heavy on just innovation and kind of, you know, how my name formed, right? Rich Innovated.
Rich Innovated.
My name and Innovated together. And I feel kind of just like what you were saying, like, especially I could kind of speak for me the same way. Like, I'm the youngest person on my team. And a lot of people have, you know, certain ways of doing things, right? Yes. And they kind of that creativity and that innovation is lost.
Yes.
Do you feel like you foster that with your team, though, of just being creative, being innovative?
I do. But like you said, there's a lot of times, you know, being the youngest, you know, I'm working with people. Well, I'm a little older now. We ain't going to talk about that. But when I first started, I was working with people who are like twice my age. You know, people who have grandchildren. And we're talking about their grandkids' recitals and things like that. And I'm, you know, coming home partying from Miami this last weekend. Like, what you did this weekend? Nothing. Hung out with some friends. I was hungover. Like, you know, it's a whole different dynamic. Yes, I do propose those types of things, but, you know, sometimes they implement them. Sometimes they can't even understand the concepts, right? Like, you know, a lot of the technology now, Teams, like Slack, all of that is kind of social media formatted now. Like, you can follow people, you can follow documentations, even SharePoint, like you can follow blog posts and all that kind of stuff. You know, there's the people in the workplace social media that's not their generation. Yeah. It is a challenge, and I don't remember what your original question was.
Hey, you answered it. It. Just talking about, you know, really, as a project manager, right, you have that pull, and people, you know, follow you and listen to you. Just so, are you looking to really, you know, create that culture of innovation, promoting people to be innovative and not just doing the same task that we've been doing the same way for the last 20, 25 years? Like, you know, we looking to scale. We working with these big companies and different stuff like that, and you're looking to scale. Okay, you need to, you know, innovate in a different way. How can we maybe implement AI in these different tasks and stuff like that? So
so I'm a steer it a little bit, and that's introducing those ideas are important, but I think it's also important for us as young people and minorities and all these other different categories get into these roles and take on leadership positions. Because at the team level, right, we can have all of these ideas, but who gets to decide if it gets implemented at the company level? The executives, the VPs, the senior VPs, you know, all of the team leaders, even your manager of your team is going to really have the ultimate decision of how your team operates. So I feel like there's a gap in us as young people or us who have these great ideas, not even young people, just people who have great ideas, we're at the worker bee level. There's nothing wrong with being the worker bee level. Yeah. Worker bee level, you're in STEM. Worker bee level gives you a little bit of change. Yeah. However, to really impact and make decisions and make change in the workplace, we need to take on these leadership positions. Yeah. And what I'm doing myself is I'm hosting a group. I know we're probably going to talk about it later, but I'll talk about it now. Yeah. But I'm hosting a group. It's called the No Name Get Money Project Management Group. That's our name for right now. We're going to see.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's actually what I wanted to. We thinking on the same chord. I wanted to really plug into that, right?
Yeah.
No Name Get Money group, right?
The No Name Get Money Project Management Group. And really what I'm trying to do with that group is to foster an environment where people can get into project management and can be successful at it. And my reason for doing it, I tell my people all the time, is because I'm selfish, right? I need you to be in project management because I'm tired of being by myself. And I need you to be great at it so that you can get these leadership positions and you can, become the director of a PMO or become the vice president of a project management organization. And when you have contracts or when you need to fill roles, then you can just hire me, and we can start having this circle of recommendations and references and we can, make everybody win. Like everybody who's in the group can win. But we can only do that if you join the group, you dedicate yourself to furthering yourself, and you get involved. Like I said, you don't need a degree to get in project management. You don't need a certification to get in project management. It helps. It greatly, greatly helps, but you don't need it. And I feel like if we fill that gap and we work together to hone into our skills, not just project management, but in STEM in general. It's great we got into it, but now we need to be in the positions where we can make decisions and we can influence how, STEM operates or even how corporate America operates, take it to a whole nother level. But get off
that's dope. You plugging it in. No Name Get Money group, right?
No Name Get Money group.
So is this particularly just for the IT industry within project management, or is it any area?
Any area. We have people. I'm biased for IT. I'm a biased. I feel like IT is a great field to get into because literally every company in the world has an IT department. Every single company. There will always be an IT project. Name a company.
Name a company? STEM plug.
STEM plug. Do you have,
I ain't naming nobody but mine. Got me.
Engineers.
I'm the engineer. And we got engineers on the podcast helping us run the podcast. Yep.
Yes. Right here. IT. This podcast, everything we're working on, requires some kind of circuit, some kind of network, everything. Yeah. IT. So I'm biased on IT project management because it's so broad. There's always a way to get into it. But we have people in our group that are trying to do healthcare project management. So you can work for a hospital or you can work for a lab, working on projects there. Okay. We have some people who are going to try to do construction project management and real estate project management. Wow. We have people who do marketing project management, so work on marketing projects. So project management, you can do it in any field. And we do have people part of that group who are interested in those types of things. But again, I'm biased on IT.
Nah, I feel you. So okay. So I'm interested in the No Name Get Money group, right? Yes. What tools and resources are you going to really provide to individuals? Our listeners, we have listeners that's going to plug in to this course, right?
Yes.
So what tools and resources can I expect to get?
Yeah, so I am hosting monthly meetups. So I'm hosting monthly meetups where we get together, kind of talked about it a little earlier, but I'm hosting monthly project management meetup where we can network and learn from each other, kind of how you were saying, how do you foster that forever learning in the industry? This is a tool to do that. And part of those meetups, I like to have a speaker so that everyone is not walking around looking awkward, trying to network and trying to start up a conversation for nothing. But I have a speaker and who touches on different topics. So one speaker I had was a a former group member, well, not former, but a group member that I worked with to get into project management. He talked about how he went from education to project management. This month coming up, we're going to have a recruiter come in, talk about the job industry and the outlook of project management. Last month, I actually led the group and I talked about doing independent contracting in project management. So a lot of different topics. So that's one avenue. Our monthly PM meetup groups we have. I also offer services, resume review and editing services, mock interview services to help you on your journey to get into project management. If you are interested in getting the certification, specifically the project management professional certification, I do host a study group. It's a 12-week study group where we are going to take a prep course to give you your contact hours, as well as study together to help you prepare for the test. Also, I would help you apply for the test. When you do that certification, you do have to submit an application. So I basically walk with you, coach you through that whole process so that you can get your PMP. Also offer job placement services. So
that's the plug right there.
Yeah,
okay.
So I
Let's talk about
with the job placement, I offer everything I just talked about, the resume writing, the PMP study group, as well as pretty much a hotline. Like, I am your backbone for a project management job. Like, you're getting into the industry, like we talked about a little earlier, like how was I successful? I had that confidence. I had to build that confidence. So you're going in there, you may not have that confidence. I can be there with you, assisting you, making sure that you are prepared for your interviews, kind of coaching you through your interviews. When you're on the job, you're little antsy or don't really understand the concepts the first couple months that you're there. I'm there to assist you, and we talk through it, we work through it, help you with develop templates to do your project management duties if you need them. So pretty much just I'm your concierge, your project management concierge in that package. So
wow. See, I see why you call yourself a dope individual that just happens to do project
just happens to be
because you're plugging in a lot of areas. You got me like, once we get off this podcast, I want to sign up.
Yeah.
So everyone listening, make sure that you really plug in to Candace's, content and education. You don't want to miss this.
Yeah.
With that being said, right, we dove into a lot, right? What do you really want? As we dove in a lot to project management, your career, different struggles. What are you looking for your legacy to be as an individual? We're not even going to say project management.
Yeah.
We're talking about project management, right? But what do you want your legacy to be as an individual?
That is a great question, and that wasn't on the list. I'm just going to say. But that's okay. But yeah, it was. That's a good question. What do I want my legacy to be?
Yeah.
For me, actually, honestly, I feel like what I want my legacy to be is I left it all behind. I have a tattoo. It's a heart inside a feather, and it's a representation of the goddess Maat. And she's at the gates of heaven. And she weighs your heart against the weight of a feather. And if your heart is lighter than a feather, you're free from sin. You're without sin. You can enter heaven. So I kind of manipulated that meaning to me to say that whenever I leave this earth, I left it all behind on earth. I did everything I wanted to do. I have no regrets. If it was something that was in front of me, I tried. I did my best. I left it all here. And I feel like that's what I want my legacy to be. Like, when it's time for me to go, I want to go saying, like, yeah, it's time. I did the thing. I did the darn thing. I don't know if I cuss on here, but I did the darn thing, and I'm free. I can float away. So I would say I think that's what I want my legacy to be.
Nah, that's legendary. Well, this has been a legendary podcast. I appreciate you plugging in everything about project management.
Yes.
And also just you as a dope individual. You really educated me, and I feel like you educated all of our listeners.
Yes.
So make sure that you plug into the No Name Get Money group. And finally, I just want you to just plug in all your social medias for us. How can everyone get in touch with you? We got to make sure we plug into all this,
Yes,
content.
yes,
So how can they plug in?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I have a TikTok.
Okay.
I don't do any dances though.
Okay. No project management dance?
No,
You ain't making one yet?
No, I gotta do a little money dance. I don't know. Candace at Candace Margot, CandaceMargaux. Margot like Bordeaux, very French spelling. You can follow me there. You can also add me on LinkedIn. Same thing, Candace Margot, CandaceMargaux. Register for our meetups. The links are projects.eventbrite.com. That link will never change, but it'll be a different meetup every month. And because I'm so happy to be here, and I'm thankful that you brought me here, Rich, I'm going to give a promo code for all of your listeners to plug in and get a free resume review session from me. Promo code is STEMPLUG.
Okay.
STEMPLUG, STEMPLUG, one word. Plug that in on the website, candace3.podia.com. You could get to that website from my social media too. But anyway, go to the website, plug that in. You get a free resume review session on me because of the STEM Plug podcast. It's just a great podcast. So I'm offering that to you guys so that you can be plugged in with me in project management.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, we appreciate you plugging in, Candace, who is a dope individual, and you just happen to be a project manager.
Happen to be a project manager.
This is episode 8. We appreciate y'all for plugging in. Make sure you subscribe, like on YouTube. Keep plugging in.
Yes.